Hey, all stars. Welcome back to Mike Talks with Miss All. I am the host, Miss All, and thank you again for joining. I want to dive right into today's conversation. I want to talk today about loneliness. I can remember a time when I didn't realize how lonely I was until I was sitting in a room full of people and I still felt alone. Have you ever felt like that before? We're going to talk about that today. So, the topic today is loneliness. And that is a very strange feeling to experience, to be in a room full of people and still feel alone. I went back and forth about dropping this episode because I wasn't sure I wanted to admit that out in public, but I did it, and here we are. So let's get into it. Loneliness doesn't usually come screaming into your life. It typically whispers and it waits until you are alone. It waits for the quiet of the morning or it waits to the late night moments. Loneliness shows up when the world slows down, when the phone's not ringing, when the phone notifications aren't dinging. However, loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from being misunderstood or unseen. And that loneliness is the one that most of us carry quietly. The truth is, you can have family, you can have friends, you can have a spouse, you can have it all and still feel lonely. Loneliness isn't the same as being alone. Being alone is personal, whereas loneliness is emotional. Loneliness is your heart saying, I want connection. I want to matter to someone. And that is currently not happening for me. So as a result, I'm lonely. Deep loneliness comes from feeling unseen, and it is felt by people a lot of the time who are considered the strong ones, the reliant ones, the ones that have it all together. And everyone just assumes that they are always okay. And as a result, no one typically checks in deeply with the people who are usually presumed to be okay. And if people do check in on them, a lot of times the answer you'll receive from them is that everything is okay. Because for them, it is to explain the truth about how they really feel and their loneliness is exhausting and is draining to explain. And that kind of loneliness also hurts because a lot of times it feels undeserved. You show up for others, you care, you listen, yet somehow you feel forgotten and overlooked. You wonder sometimes, is something wrong with me? Why do I feel this way when my life is really not that bad? What is really going on here? So I'm going to share some transparent thoughts with you right now um, about myself and my bouts with loneliness. There have been plenty of days and nights when I felt lonely, and some of the times I wasn't even technically alone. Moments I wanted to talk, but I didn't know where to start or even know who to start with. And the other part of it is because to actually come out and say, you know what, I'm lonely. That feels very vulnerable, and you can feel like you're admitting defeat or even a weakness. And as human beings, we tend to shy away from that. So I stayed quiet. I kept myself busy and distracted, and I just pressed my way through the moment. But you know what? Loneliness sat right beside me, patiently just lingering around. And it wasn't because I wasn't loved or no one cared, but it was because I didn't feel seen by those that were close to me at that time. Nor did I feel safe enough to expose myself to them. So it was a combination of things. And because I'm considered as one of the strong ones, most of my deep conversations weren't being deeply considered as I would have liked them to be. So I did some soul searching and asked myself, are you lonely for people or are you lonely for understanding? And the answer was understanding. I craved deep interest in my feelings and emotions, and at that time, it was not there for me. So that was just something that I felt I'd share, and maybe you all can relate to that as well. I'm sure loneliness is not something that is unique to a specific group of people. Most people have probably felt it at some point in time. So, as I am recording this episode, we are in the Thanksgiving Christmas season. And this time of year can definitely be a struggle for those people who deal with loneliness. So, I want to also talk about seasonal or holiday loneliness. The holidays can actually bring pressure pressure to be merry, pressure to be happy, pressure to gather in groups, pressure to celebrate. And loneliness hits harder when everyone seems to be surrounded by family and friends, and maybe you are not. When social media is full of people in the matching pajama sets, the couples, the families, the pajama pictures are flying around, the family tables are full. And it also hits hard if you are missing someone you love. The holiday season has a way of magnifying absence. And sometimes during this time, some of the loneliest words that a person can hear is, so what are you doing for the holidays? They don't even know how to answer the question. And even the fact that they were asked feels like a gut punch. But I want to remind everyone that loneliness is just a signal. It's a signal from your emotional system saying that I want connection. I want understanding. I want to be heard. I want to be considered. And holiday loneliness can be extremely hard. There's also the form of loneliness where you are actually included in groups physically. You've been invited to things. You show up. You're welcome, but you still don't feel essential. You feel like that extra chair. You feel like the flexible guest, the one that could leave early and it probably wouldn't even be noticed right away, if at all. That's a lot to carry. So I just want to leave you with these thoughts. If you are someone that is experiencing feelings of loneliness, just remember your story is not defective. Your life is not invisible. And just because no one is photographing your life right now during this season, you're not alone. Be intentional about addressing your feelings and your emotions and not letting them control you. You are not alone, and you are needed on this earth. Stay strong in this season, and remember that things will not always be this way. So as I wrap up this episode, let's all to commit to something. Let's all commit to something. To be more discerning and aware of the people around us who might be experiencing loneliness. Pay attention to the words and the actions of family and friends when they're around you, especially those strong ones, because they may not be as all right as you think they are. But if we are a bit more intentional and a bit more discerning, I think it will help out, especially through this holiday season. So again, if you are experiencing loneliness, I hope something I said resonated with you. If only the fact to know that you are not the only person experiencing this, and that I too have experienced those feelings. And if you know of someone else who may be experiencing it, share this episode with them. Let them know that they are not alone as well. So I am Miss All. This has been Mike Talks, and I thank you again for joining. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And again, be intentional and remember, you are not alone. See you next time.